champion select for game number 2 between Cloud9 Challenger and Team Liquid Academy. After taking game number 1, looks like Cloud9 are going to be feeling pretty strong going into number 2. Azael and Kindred banned away, along with that Fizz as well. So most of these we sort of expect from 6-11 and generally standard picks.
Yeah, I mean, the bans really were like a 6-10 draft, and it can be one of those things where either people have not adapted or, alternatively, they don't think that the changes really mattered for competitive play. And sometimes that does take time to shake out. And especially, if I'm C9, why risk anything, right? You already feel that you're probably in an advantage going into this matchup. So just play standard, play the stuff that you have more practice on. There's no need, to bust out the Aurelia or play champions that you're less comfortable with, right?
If we were to see balls break out the Aurelia or the Jax in the top lane, to clarify, this is 6-11, so the Trinity Force is strong. Those fighters are so... That's why we see the Fizz banned away right now. And once again, Ryze is available for Cloud9 on blue side. They instantly first pick it, but Dardoch thinks he has an answer, insta-locking a Rek'Sai on his own.
Yeah, so Ryze is a champion that in LCS, doesn't really make it through a pick ban that often. It's also, I believe, another champion that got hit on 6-11. I could be wrong. I'll probably hear about it if I am. But if I remember correctly, he also did get tagged a little bit there, toned down in power. So it could be why we see him make his way through the draft. But it is a flex pick. It can go top. It can go mid. More traditionally in LCS, you see it in the mid lane. Because it is pretty heavily scaling champion. If you get caught in a lane swap, sometimes it takes a long time to get up to the road to the tier and really kind of come online.
We'll see where that ends up going. As Team Liquid Academy now looking at their next pick, I just smile knowing that Dardoch locked that in with 59 seconds on the counter. That really seems like a very Dardoch thing to do. But Braum, in fact, is going to pick for Stuntopolis on support, taking that away from Lemonation.
Yeah, so a bit of a reverse draft here so far. Rek'Sai, definitely, I think most people feel that it is kind of the S tier jungler after Nidalee and Kindred, who were banned out. So confident to lock this in. It doesn't really feel like there's any real counters to it. I would agree with him. Still a lot of options here for Rush, but they don't need to pick up their jungler in this round of picks. If there's anything they think will be contested, they can take that. But if they do not feel that their contested picks really matter, they can obviously just not give something away by picking up, your Gragas, your Elise, or whatever. So there certainly are options for Cloud9 here, but a solid first round of picks there from TLA.
Yeah, strategic value of the Rek'Sai aside, I like to think it's Dardoch calling out Rush and saying, hey, you took Rek'Sai in the previous game. Well, guess what? Take Lee Sin. I
would love it. I would love that.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So they are going to pick up the Sivir. We do see Trundle as well. A pretty nice combo here. The Sivir ult is great with Trundle. It's also really good with Ryze. Ryze likes to get in there too, so giving more speed ups to your mid laner is always something that's very welcome. Ryze is also a champion that we see things like Storm Raider Surge on pretty regularly, so people prioritize the move speed very highly on this champion. And now it's TLA's turn to lock in some more picks. Maokai, something they could go back to. Once again, we'll see if they're going to want to try to lock that down and take Maokai, because he is a champion who was nerfed a fair bit, especially in the laning phase. So he's already a champion that kind of got smacked around by Trundle previously in 6-10, and now he has longer Q cooldown. He has less HP regen per level, so it's putting him at even more of a disadvantage.
Yeah, well, looks like they might be going back to it. Maokai is locked in, and Fabi is going to go for the Caitlyn to see if he can match that Sivir. Trying to use that oppressive 650 range to bully it out. And Team Liquid Academy, they're starting to round out into a more fleshed out comp.
Yeah, I think it's a very strong team fighting composition. You could even throw the same pick from last game in your mid lane, throw a Victor in, and you have a beast team fighting squad. If you group up as a 4-man, 5-man squad with whatever they pick in mid lane, it's going to be very strong. Caitlyn, I think, smashes Sivir in lane. It's very advantageous early on, I do feel, because you outrange that Sivir so heavily. You can get a lot of free poke, but it does depend on what kind of support does come in. And we're going to see Karma, which is a really strong laning support here. I talked a little bit to Aframu the other day after LCS. I was kind of asking him how he felt about it, and he really feels that locking in Karma just kind of gives your ADC a free lane regardless. So it's something that, because it has so much poke, it has sustain, and it has really good disengage with the speed up shields. it can kind of bridge the gap. Even if your ADC is at a disadvantage, Karma has a very strong lane advantage over the Braum.
Sort of a jack of all trades in that bottom lane. We'll see how that works out for Team Liquid Academy if they can keep pace with it. Rush did go to the Elise when it was all said and done. So we'll see how that matchup works out in the jungle, as right now Golden Glue, he's thinking about Kassadin. Oh, and LeBlanc. He is going to be going up against Ryze in the mid lane for high. And yeah, LeBlanc is locked in for Team Liquid Academy's Golden Glue.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. I think that this is a matchup where Golden Glue can look to get really aggressive on high here. Now they have the Rek'Sai, they have, you know, fantastic early jungler once again, and LeBlanc is a champion that if you can snowball it, it can really impact the map. It can really move around, you know, snowball your lead very, very heavily. So we'll have to see, you know, how Dardoch and Golden Glue are going to be able to work together here, because if you can get that LeBlanc ahead, you know, he could take over a game. But at the same time, strong team fighting squad as well for C9. They have all kinds of speed ups from the Karma, from the Sivir, and they have early gank pressure from Elise here. They've shown that they have superior macro play, map movement. It's going to be a tough one for TLA.
Yeah, it certainly is. But you can update your vote on Twitter by sending either hashtag C9CWin or hashtag TLAWin to us here at LOL Esports. And our production minions will tally up the vote in just a bit. We actually
They're super minions, Dom. Give them some credit.
We'll give them canon minions. They're canon minions.
That's fair.
Okay, so you were talking a little bit about Team Liquid Academy. They've got a strong team fighting comp if they can get everyone together. Well, last game, they didn't get an opportunity to because Cloud9 just split the map.
I mean, the laning phase went so bad for them that it's one of those situations where you lose control of the game before you really get to play to your comp strengths. You know, regardless of what champions you do play, you obviously have to be able to execute on that level. You know, they have an amazing team fighting comp here, and I definitely think they have the pieces in place to win those kind of 5v5 fights. Although I will say LeBlanc, you know, did not really go along with that plan as much as I thought. Because LeBlanc is a champion that is pretty difficult to play in those team fights. It requires kind of like more, you know, side lane, like kind of flanking them and trying to pick off key targets. Whereas, you know, if you do go with something that's more straightforward, like an Orianna or something, it can be very different.
This is going to be a challenging match for Team Liquid Academy. So far, they look like they might be going for standard lanes as Fabi takes the first bit of harass from Cloud9, who already press forward with an attempt at securing an early advantage, though it looks like Fabi will have enough time to recall. Oh, in fact, no, the recall does get canceled as Altek knows that he wants to play it safe and back away. And in the top lane, something similar seems to be happening with Solo, as he also is taking a bit of harass from Balls. So not quite the best start so far, but they do still get the recall in time. They're going to make it back to lane by 145 at full health. And in fact, looks like they might be performing a late lane swap here, and Cloud9 don't seem to be matching it.
Yep, it's looking like Braum is heading up towards top lane, Altek heading down towards the bot lane. So I think that TLA is probably pretty happy to actually avoid this matchup if they can kind of avoid having the 2v2 against this Karma. But at the same time, they have people kind of, you know, milling around across the map, and now Lemonation has spotted them out, and he's going to go for some early harass. And Karma is one of the very best at doing this. He's so annoying because Karma starts with that mantra, with the ultimate at level 1. You can get really good poke out and kind of push these guys away. As you can see, you know, Dardoch not able to even go for the wolves there. Just has to back off.
Clever little hesitation means he dodges that last damage as he gets out of there. But that was Solo taking the long way around. He will finally catch up with Dardoch as Stunt looks to do something similar against Rush. Unfortunately, neutral camp's not quite going to be able to proc.
Bad early trade there, actually, for Golden Glue, who tries to go in onto high and gets W'd and beat up pretty hard there, but does have some potions, going to be fine. And the lane swap in full effect here. We have, you know, Cloud9 Balls TP'd over there after trying to help double jungle a little bit, and they have 3 men working on the turret. And at the same time, you can see TLA is working on that top lane turret. So both teams going to go for this turret trade. And generally speaking, in North America, when you do trade 1, you trade 2. So we'll see if they're going to swap back and look for that. Well, this is pretty actually aggressive here by Dardoch, though. This is not his side of the map.
He is going to get the blue buff, and the tunnel is cleared as well. He already goes around the well. Oof.
Nice
Could have been
takeaway.
collapsed on, but he gets out.
Yeah, he does get out, and Balls is going to be able to pick up the local gold here. Gets that full amount of gold for himself. But yeah, pretty ballsy play there by Dardoch, as that's where a lot of C9 members were, and he did see some of them back off and head towards top lane, so he felt that he was safe. But had he been kind of caught, could have gone pretty bad for him.
Yeah, so the laning phase in game number 1 was very powerful for Cloud9. They were able to take advantages just about everywhere across the map, and so far, 4 minutes in, still very early. Seems like things are slowing down just a bit. Not quite such an early snowball from Cloud9, but again, this is like saying there's not going to be sunny weather in California tomorrow.
Well, we got to give TLA some credit.
Yeah.
They definitely, are doing the lane swap quite well. They're holding on very well as far as things go so far. Lane's looking pretty even across the board. Balls is going to try to come over here and help out Rush, and could see Stumpy in a little trouble, but they're going to go into Rush.
Flash over the wall. The trap is not going to land. Rush forced to flash away. So it's flash for flash, but Team Liquid Academy looking much more aggressive than they did in the previous match.
Yeah, they go for the play, which is great, but at the same time, Fabi actually misplaced that trap, unfortunately. Could have been good for him, but Altac and Lemon could be getting aggressed on as Dardoch's up here, and we do see Solo looking to try to pick up some of his experience and farm as best he can, and it's looking like Dardoch doesn't want to go for any plays. He just wants to be there in case they try to die.
Playing it very slowly as the wave is cleared out by Altac. Stunt, face checks up Rush. Heal is used. He's going to have to hop out of this one, but Rush won't let him go. Rush pops up. He's got no flash. Fabi, it might be able to get this first blood as he kites forward. He does secure it with red buff.
A lot of minions on
Balls.
Balls.
He has to turn around onto Balls, and Balls, the minions.
Oh, the red buff.
Double kill, and the red buff plus the minions. Here comes High to clean this play up.
I don't think he can. He has to be careful. There's just way too many minions there. They got to show respect to that. And now that he's been tagged, he can actually get this proc and die.
Oh, the auto attack.
All right, he's okay.
Yeah, doesn't follow up from Fabi. Doesn't have enough move speed to get in range in time.
Yeah, and wow. I mean, early aggression there from Balls and Rush. They wait, they get the face check, so they get everything they want, but look at this massive minion wave, and this is, the Caitlyn is free firing, and you're aggressing onto this Braum, so when they do see that concussive blow procs, he's able to take out Rush, and now he has the red buff, and Balls is like, oh crap, I gotta get out of here, and the minion attacks and that red buff able to take him down, so this is a 2-0 Caitlyn early on, and now we have to see TLA play around their advantage. They need to work around this and try to snowball this lead as best as they can. Fabi is actually pretty heavily down in CS as compared to Altec, but he has 2 kills for himself, and with that, I'd love to see them match up in this 2v2 because this should be a big early advantage.
Yeah, Stunt and Fabi now looking to match it. They've still got their tier 1
Well,
to
here
answer.
comes Solo.
Yeah, Solo. Oh, Spell Shield. He's going to soak the initial bit of harass. Red buff provides a slow, but again, the Mantra speed buff from Karma, so very strong.
Yeah, well played by Altec and Lemon. Altec able to Spell Shield that Maokai route, and then he sidesteps the Winter's Bite. Able to get out scot-free there, so pretty good job by them. But once again, we're seeing TLA try to make stuff happen, and that's exactly what they need to do. And, it isn't even Dardoch that's getting involved. It's just a nice outplay from the duo lane here that's actually getting their advantage.
Dardoch might be looking for a gank mid lane, but he's found by Rush and is forced to tunnel over. Once again, everyone playing nice and safe, nice and defensive outside of the mistakes that we saw when Cloud9 over-aggressed a bit in the bottom. Now that they have this early lead, I think I might have to take back what I said. It might rain tomorrow.
It could.
Weather might not be so sunny.
You never know, and it is a best of 2, so if they are able to take this one, it would be tied up, but obviously it's way too early to really talk about that.
Yeah.
And you can see that I believe that C9's actually very, very close in gold here. It looks like they're down just about 300 or 400, and staying very competitive because once again, they have some farm advantages. High is up on CS in the mid lane. We have a little CS advantage here for Balls once again. And Sivir is up a fair bit over Caitlyn. So they have been winning out on the farm. It's kind of reminiscent of last game where TLA picks up those early kills, but they're losing out on farm, so it equalizes.
Yeah, this is sort of what we expected from Cloud9 Challenger as they continue to try to press their advantages as best they can. Blue buff, you just saw going over to high. Rush, once again, enabling those solo lanes as much as possible. Make sure that they can do basically the same things that they did in the previous game. If you can get high and balls back to the same point, I think that's going to be a pretty happy jungler.
Yeah, no kidding. But so far, they have not been able to start that up, really. And TLA is looking good, and there's no one better for them than Fabi to actually get all these early kills on, because he has a massive front line this game, so it should be pretty easy for him to team fight, as he's going to have Braum, Maokai, and Rek'Sai all in front of him, tanking up, really putting the pressure onto his opponents. And it's going to be hard for guys like Hai to kind of enter the fight when there's all this CC, all this lockdown, and this huge front line. So, you know, if Fabi's able to continue snowballing this, you know, pick up a lot of farm and become a teamfight beast in the mid game on this Caitlyn, you know, once he hits his 2 items, he's going to be very, very powerful, and they can try to team fight around that.
Yeah, once again, we'll see if Team Liquid Academy can look for those team fights. They weren't able to make their composition work so well last game as Golden Glue. Oh, the snare actually is going to find Hai. Dardoch looks to follow up. There's a second snare. Teleport instantly used. Hai has died. And in fact, it's Team Liquid Academy with the 3rd kill of this game.
Yeah, good stuff from Golden Glue. Hai tries to flash out of the chains range, but actually does not get it. So it's not even going to cost Golden Glue his flash. He uses Ignite. He lands 2 chains in a row, CCs him up. Dardoch gets in there. They finish off the kill. Great stuff, as Balls has to cancel his TP since Solo was matching and their mid laner was already dead. So a good lead here early on for TLA, and it's looking massively different from game number 1. These guys are actually playing aggressive. They're playing with confidence, and so far they're coming out on top.
Yeah, so all they had to do was, all right, in game number 2, go into the settings, disable nameplates. We're just playing
That's it.
regular old game.
I can get in there. I just got to turn off the nameplates.
Yeah. Just don't feel the fear, and you can make plays happen. Don't let your dreams be dreams. And they're going to turn Altec into a nightmare? No, he seems like he's actually having a pretty good time as he's kiting this around. This is working rather well for him, and in fact, he's going to turn it around. Dardoch is collapsed upon.
Oh, that's so frustrating for Dardoch. I mean, he had him so low, but he had no damage items, really. He had, like, Swifty Boots and a Sightstone at that point. I don't even think he had actually had the Balmy Cinder yet. I think he picked that up after he died, so just did not have the damage to finish off Altec, who was painfully low for so long, and pretty rough stuff. But here comes Golden Glue, and Balls is going to be in trouble.
Yeah, he drops the subjugate onto Solo, turns it around. Golden Glue isn't done just yet, just waiting for that cooldown. He drops forward and gets the 4th kill for Team Liquid Academy.
Yeah, great stuff, and the best part really is that it has been focused on their carries. We have, you know, 1-0-1 on that LeBlanc, but right now, Stunt's going to be in trouble. He's got to get out of there.
Yeah, Cloud9 dive
Here
under the
Dardoch.
turret. Dardoch wants to get revenge for that previous play, and he will find it. He's able to kill Rush. That's got to feel pretty great as now Team Liquid Academy are kiting it out. They've turned now onto Elimination. Ignite burns down for a bit of damage, but it's not enough. The snare finds Dardoch. He's almost certain. Oh, God. He knocks up Hai, who takes a lot of turret hits. Fabi has got kills, but no mana. Here comes Golden Glue. He's going to clean this up. No problem. Double kill for Team Liquid Academy. It's 7-2 TLA.
That is so huge for TLA. A beautiful turnaround. Dardoch in the right place at the right time. Fabi does not miss the trap this time.
Nope.
And as you can see, they want to execute the dive. Here comes Rush, and they think this is a free kill, but the heal is dropped. They delay enough, and Rush, who repels in aggressively, he gets concussive blowed, he gets trapped out of that, popped up, good CC chain, and now they delay. They delay so well. Stunt nails that slow onto Hai, and Dardoch is tanking up, and Fabi is just kind of kiting back, clears out the minion wave, so Hai takes a lot of damage from the turret, and Dardoch with that last pop-up allowed them to chunk him very low, and now it's cleanup time for Golden Glue. He says, I got 1 kill, how about 2 more? And he is snowballing on the LeBlanc. This is exactly what they needed.
Yeah, 3-0-1 on Golden Glue, opting for the Morellonomicon first, and then an Abyssal Scepter afterwards, just in case he wants to shred any more. Team Liquid Academy looking very strong in this game number 2 as they're able to find the advantages that they were too afraid to chase in game number 1.
Yeah, it's great. And Hurricane already completed on this Caitlyn. He has the BF on top of that. He's definitely outpacing Altec as far as itemization goes for now, but Altec has maintained a large CS advantage, and because of that, it is very even. You know, not as behind as you would expect.
Whoa, Golden Glue gets very aggressive with the trade.
That's what you have to be careful about. I mean, you hop in there on the LeBlanc, and Rise can just root you up and do his full combo on you. And you know, whether you're ahead or not, Rise is still going to pack a punch, and you do have to be careful, which is a big reason that he is going to be going for that Abyssal. It's great in that 1v1 matchup, and you know, with High in there with a lot of magic damage from Rush and Lemon as well, the MR is going to be helpful, and the Magic Pen is always fantastic on LeBlanc.
Yeah, it seems like all of Team Liquid Academy are aware of what they need to do to play around Cloud9's team composition. That's the Cloud Drake picked up by Team Liquid Academy, and going to help them move around and sort of keep pace with what we expect from Cloud9's rotations. Dardoch once again invades. The snare is going to lock him down, but should be able to tunnel just out of this. Just has to wait for the cooldown.
Yeah, he's okay, and they don't really have the vision to kind of commit to that fight because they don't know if a LeBlanc is sitting in that bush above red, you know, the banana bush or whatever you want to call it. Because when you don't have the vision, you always have to basically say, all right, I don't know where LeBlanc is, he's in that bush. You have to give him that respect, because if you do not, if you're playing the Karma, if you're playing the Sivir, these kind of squishy champions, you will get deleted and he will crush the game. So you got to give him a lot of respect. You have to slow play it and not allow Golden Glue to continue to extend his advantage. You know, C9 wants to slow down the pace of the game. They want to take this to split push. It's like, sure, the Maokai is ahead of Trundle right now, but it doesn't really matter because the matchup is so advantageous for balls. And eventually, you know, High wants to get to the spot where he can 1v1 anyone in a side lane too. So when they do get that, they can set it up, but here comes the jump onto High.
Yeah, they try to dive onto him. Unfortunately, Flash doesn't shake off concussive blows. He's still able to make it off of the turret, under the turret, however. So he gets out with his life. And Team Liquid Academy, they've got kills on their very important carries, on that Caitlyn, on that LeBlanc, and they're trying to get more.
Yeah. And good job by High staying alive, but they still do take the flash, and that's always going to be pretty impactful. That's one of the biggest ways in for a Rise, and it looks like TLA wants to engage.
Yeah, action breaks out. There's a flash knock up on the 4. Dardoch is tanky, but he's not that tanky. He goes low and is going to drop as Balls jumps down on that free kill. Balls is going to be traded over to Solo, and Team Liquid Academy, their carries are still alive. They're trying to turn this fight into more. Golden Glue's going to catch up late. He's on a rampage with another kill. Fabi finally drops to Altec, but Team Liquid Academy are 3 versus 1 right now. Stunt gets out. Altec running for his life, but Solo is able to catch him. That's going to be a triple kill onto Golden Glue.
Wow, what a fight from TLA. It looked a little bit shaky at the start there as their tanks kind of went in before the rest of the team arrived, but so tanky, so far ahead right now. Fabi was able to do a great job staying alive, and that was key as it gave enough time for Golden Glue to come in and clean up, and now this is a 6-kill LeBlanc. He's likely going to base and have that Abyssal.
Yeah, Golden Glue.
Oh, God.
Oh, is he going to be able to land this? Oh, doesn't quite proc the chain just yet. Balls is going to escape with his life and a fleeting memory of the nightmare that is Golden Glue's LeBlanc in this game. 6-0-1, but here's that fight once again.
So here's the fight once again. They do go in kind of early, and these bruisers in the front, you know, Dardoch and Stun are taking so much damage, and Dardoch does get finished off, but Fabi is firing away in the backline so safely. He's playing really well, and he does have a massive front line, so when Dardoch gets taken out, it's okay because he still has the Maokai, he still has the Braum, and Golden Glue's able to come in from the side, take out High. It's only Altec alive. He has the flash, but we do see the answer from Solo. They're able to clean up another one, and great stuff here from TLA. They're playing with confidence, and their carries are going off this game. Fabi and Golden Glue are coming up big, and they have a massive front line to protect them. So they're being given the freedom that they need to execute.
Yeah, this is exactly what you mentioned earlier. Getting those kills on Fabi is important because he has that front line. And speaking of front line, they're looking to get more kills on top of that. Balls, actually gets the subjugate off. He's stunned. Oh, and he's going to be able to get out alive for now. Stunt is going to run away as Rush collapses and is able to keep his top laner alive.
They were trying to gift the kill over to Golden Glue, but I believe that they actually stopped autoing and they did not proc the Winter's Bite fast enough. So he's actually able to get out of there. And Golden Glue kind of had a desperation flash. He wanted that kill because they had committed to it. He's not able to finish him off as that subjugate was healing balls up. So he's able to get out of there, but still a nice lead here for TLA, but the gold lead is not as big as you would expect given the kill lead.
Teleport for high as he looks to dissuade Team Liquid Academy from this Rift Herald buff. They now have the fast track down the mid lane towards that tier 1 turret as Balls once again looks to split push. Team Liquid Academy might be looking for another kill. There is no subjugate on Balls. Oh, but his Sixth Sense and that ward tells him to back away.
A little bit of both. But we have Solo kind of just wandering up here, and Solo's going to get destroyed. He should be going down.
Tanky, but he doesn't stand a chance against the combined might of 4 members of Team Liquid Academy. Levitation, takes an ace in the hole and is able to live. Dardoch, oh my gosh, Rush escapes with his life, but Dardoch is, unable to follow up for the kill.
So close on both Lemon and Rush there, as he's able to actually repel the Q from Golden Glue, stays alive. But TLA want to keep pushing.
Yeah, they're looking for the mid tier 1. Don't quite have enough minions to break through High's wave clear. And the turret is going to stay standing for now. 2-2 in turrets, but it's 12-5 in kills. Team Liquid Academy putting a strong showing in this match.
And Solo just kind of underestimating as he just kind of tried to wander through the dangerous way here, has to commit as he gets caught by High, goes in and kind of gives up a free kill. Thankfully, Fabi is massive in the backline, has Rush poked out low, gets Lemon low, and there is the repel I talked about, really well done there, and then Rush gets out using Dardoch, who mispositioned a little bit, kind of gave him the escape route.
Yeah, Dardoch on the invade, trying to steal away that blue buff and continue to deny Rush. Get revenge for that act that was that previous game. Now, 20 minutes in, second Drake has spawned. That's going to be the Ocean Drake, but Team Liquid Academy are going to look now for this mid-tier 1 turret. Stunt is going to take the brunt of the damage, but Fabi is coming fully online.
This is really what TLA needs to do. I mean, they have a huge kill advantage, but they need to convert on objectives, right? Before that went down, they were only around 2,000 gold ahead, and with how heavily the fights have been going in their favor, you would expect to be more, but here comes Dardoch.
Yeah, they're looking to convert yet more kills as they chase forward. Luckily, On the Hunt allows them to escape. Stunt eats a cocoon and goes down. Dardoch tries to re-engage. Golden Glue dashes forward, but is not able to find the same target twice. And Cloud9 escape with their health chunked out, but a kill on their belt.
Yeah, 1 for 0 on a TLA initiation, so good stuff there by Cloud9. And the longer they hang in here, it's going to be dangerous. Dardoch's getting caught.
Yeah, can't make it over the wall. The crowd control from Cloud9 is juggled so perfectly as 4 members of Cloud9 demonstrating that experience, demonstrating how long they've played together, and having the confidence in order to get that crowd control. The mid-tier 1 turret is going to fall, and Cloud9 might be the one to take this dragon 21.5 minutes into the game right now. Even the recall coming out from Lemonation, as he knows, doesn't quite have to put too much pressure into keeping that team safe, while Golden Glue goes back for another blue buff.
Yeah, so off the back of that, C9 is only down 1K and some change. And this is a 6-0 LeBlanc, but you know, he needs to continue getting kills because as it goes further and further into the game, and we get into more of the kind of 5v5 team fight stage, he's really gonna have trouble because there's so much danger of him going in. If he gets hit by a cocoon, or if he gets hit by High locking him down with that W, he has the chance to just die instantly. This is not a tanky character. He needs to play these fights really, really intelligently. But thankfully for them, Fabi has picked up his IE, so he's hit that big 2-item power spike, and he's looking strong.
Golden Glue trying to convert a kill. Smite from Dardoch is going to... Oh no, that was Smite from Rush. Did Dardoch still get that? He did! Oh, Rush. Miss-smited just a bit there.
Yeah, one of those things where he kind of just expected Rush to... Rush expected Dardoch to go for the smite, so he tried to kind of like smite early and catch it on his burst.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those 50-50 smites, but Dardoch picks it up. He's been doing great this game, and Rush has not been having his best game on this release.
Yeah, it certainly hasn't. Golden Glue looking for a kill. Yeah, the flank exactly as you mentioned. On the Hunt is blown. They might be trying to collapse onto Fabi here, but he escapes into the safety of his team. All of that front line is waiting. Solo even setting up a slow push in the bottom. Cloud9, though, they know they've got a bit of time, so they're going to play to the top. And suddenly it's Stunt who's overextended. Fabi's going to kite it out as best he can in the back. Balls is locked down and destroyed as Fabi is still untouched in the back. He's dishing out so much damage. Golden Glue chases forward and On the Hunt is on cooldown. Rush has to be sacrificed.
They just can't get to Fabi.
Yeah.
They just can't get to him. The front line is so strong, but they're going to re-engage.
Yeah, speaking of that front line, Dardoch and Stunt chase forward. Flash from high is used to escape Ace Mahol as he tries to get out of there. But this is such a scary team composition for Team Liquid Academy.
Yeah, and Altec had to flash out, so they get the Fed carries. They have the massive front line, and they're making it work. They do actually initiate onto that Braum, and yes, Stunt did move far forward, but at the same time, you dump too much damage into the support. As long as he gets his first rotation of spells off, he drops the Unbreakable. It's going to be hard to kill him, and honestly, it's a lot of kind of wasted damage as the carries get in there, and they are really the ones that you have to worry about. If you cannot get to Fabi, if you cannot take out Golden Blue, you won't win the fights, and here we have it. As Stunt did move up far, but look at all the damage committed onto him, and the whole time, watch Fabi, watch Golden Glue in the bottom side of the screen. Fabi is free-firing the entire fight. They cannot get to him. He's even able to net forward because he's so confident, because if you ever try to run through their tanks, you will get smashed by that front line.
And some very clean play out of Team Liquid Academy as they're able to take the team fight composition and effectively wield it against Cloud9, an opportunity that they didn't get in the previous game. So things looking much better for Team Liquid Academy. They've now got about a 2,500 gold lead with all of these kills, but it's even in turrets, it's even in dragons, and Cloud9 aren't that far behind.
No, they really aren't, and they do, as we've talked about a few times, have the split push kind of side lane advantage, and the longer you let them hang around, the more dangerous it's going to be, as high and balls are going to be very frightening in those side lanes.
We haven't seen them quite exercise that ability just yet in this game.
Yeah, too nervous about the LeBlanc able to just kind of get in there and delete them. High is going to need some more MR for that 1v1. You can see him building it up now. He has his Merc Treads, another Null Magic Mantle on top of that, so could go Abyssal, could go super defensive with a Spirit Visage if he really wants, if he's worried about it. Could also go GA, which is a very common Rise third item and has a lot of MR.
Ooh, Dardoch is separated from his team. He's going to eat the brunt of the damage. Stunt jumps in to try to save him, but it's actually a kill onto Rush as Dardoch is alive, and still the fight continues as Team Liquid Academy chase forward. They just have to reset, and they clean up the kill.
And once again, I mean, it's TLA with one of their tanks a bit out of position, but they're so tanky, it does not matter. We saw a great jump in there from Stunt, able to protect Dardoch enough time for him to get out of there. Now they're going straight for the bear, and they want to seize this advantage and look to take this game.
Yeah, there's no smite for Rush because
Fabi's in trouble.
But they try to fight. Fabi is caught. High is able to kill him. It's all up to Golden Glue now. If Team Liquid Academy want to win this fight, he's able to get one kill as High drops down to Dardoch. But on the far side, Lemonation was able to get a kill of his own. Altec is going to drop, and Team Liquid Academy clean up a few kills, but there goes the Baron.
Yeah, 2 for 2, but High with the hero play stops the Baron, so that is huge. Able to just flash on top of Fabi, deletes him before anyone can get there. Stunt was not in position to actually block the combo. No one was in position to peel, and Fabi did not respect the initiation.
Yeah, meanwhile, Solo trading with Rush a little bit. He's got no repel.
Rush is gone.
Oh, man. Tries to get the Venom Spike, but Golden Glue just cleans up.
Yeah, good job there by Solo. Right place, right time. Able to peel for Golden Glue, but here is that deletion. He thinks he's safe, has the trap line. High says, gotcha. Flies over with the flash, able to root him up and delete him. And Fabi, a little bit of a missed position there, honestly. Should have been further over to the side in the pit with his team, or even out to the left side of the pit. So it does give up that kill, but TLA is very strong. Golden Glue is terrifying. He has 8 kills, I do believe.
Yeah.
And he's a monster on the block, so they do end up going 2 for 2, and TLA head right back to the bear.
Yeah, he keeps on finding these flanks, these opportunities into the fight, and oh man, Balls is overextended in the mid lane. Drops a Subjugate to try to keep himself standing, but against 5 members of Team Liquid Academy, he falls with little pomp and circumstance.
Yeah, Balls and Rush, pretty brutal. 11 deaths between the two of them, having a bad game, and High trying to poke out stunt there, throwing down his combo, and they're going to keep trying to shove onto mid lane to dissuade the Baron. But TLA will not be dissuaded, and there's no flash on high right now. Fabi has his. Going to be really hard to get in and execute this Caitlyn.
Yeah, this is the master plan. Bait out one of the flashes by dying.
Baron's
As the Baron is being chunked out, there is a smite available for Rush. He goes around, there's the repel, he's into the pit, he stole it! He's stolen the Baron, but now he's going to be locked down by Fabi, who again is untouched. Solo, so tanky, is going to absorb 3 members of Cloud9. Fabi joins the fight and mops up a second kill, but Cloud9 have got the Baron on their surviving members.
Yeah, great job there by Rush, able to jump in, steals the Baron, which is going to keep Cloud9 in this game. You know, that could have been what TLA used to seal the deal here. And Rush says no, a really big deal there for them, but at the same time, Cloud9 cannot punch through Solo. This Maokai is an absolute beast. He gets in the front, he tanks up the damage, and it allows them time for Fabi and Golden Glue once again to do their work. So here comes Rush once again. This was really a must steal for him. The repel in, does he even smite? I don't even know if he actually... Okay, so he did. He did get the X2 combo with the smite, steals that up. He goes down, High goes down as well, but they're going to call it worth. They really needed to keep the Baron away from TLA.
Yeah, and Cloud9 are still in this game. And despite all of the action, despite all of the fights that are going Team Liquid Academy's way, they're only 3,000 gold ahead 30 minutes into the game.
Yeah.
Cloud9 Challenger are hot on Team Liquid Academy's heels.
They really are, and it's kind of scary to think that with how the game has looked, but the farm is really a big deal here. As you can see, you know, Altec is up like 50 CS, mid lane is even, but the 50 CS in the bot lane has been a really big deal, and quietly Altec has been scaling up. You know, once he does pick up his IE, he's going to be an absolute beast in these team fights. You start having the crits bouncing. Even just a bounce or two to LeBlanc can pop that guy at that point. So, you know, he has his Lord Dominic's now. He's sitting on 3 items. He's very, very powerful. But at the same time, across the board, you got to look at Fabi. IE, he has his Rapid Fire, his Hurricane. He's got the Last Whisper pretty much fully online here. I'm sure he'd love to have, you know, a BT for himself, maybe going to pick up the Mercurial to avoid those assassinations. But still, he's looking really good. And Golden Glue, 906. Not much else to say besides that.
906 LeBlanc, Team Liquid Academy are feeling good. They've got the kills on the correct carries. They've got the items on those carries as well. And a suitable front line to keep those carries alive. Completely different game from game number 1. Much closer competition between the two. As right now it looks like Team Liquid Academy trying to bring the pressure. They feel like they've got an advantage with a scoreboard looking that stark, 21-9. You feel like you have to, but Cloud9 will not fall without a fight.
They're fighting for every inch, right? They're just not giving up free objectives. They're always in the right place, wave clearing, making them push and scrape for every little advantage that they can get. So it's delaying the game more and more, and they're looking for an engage.
Yeah, they're trying to burst down Solo. He's chunked to half. Dardoch is going to join a bit late. He turns now onto Balls, who goes low, and in fact, they're going to be able to kill Solo. Balls is in the back, but Fabi fights forward. He's doing so much damage. He's going to get another kill with some help from Dardoch. It's going to be 1-for-1 when it's said and done, but High is not done just yet. There's a flash knockup for Dardoch, and Cloud9 are able to back it up and keep themselves alive.
These Baron minions have got to be so annoying for TLA, just clogging everything up, but it looked like a good fight for C9 for a second. Then Fabi's able to step forward, get a crit or two onto Altec, pushes him completely out of the fight. With Altec having to back off, C9 does not have the damage to get through the remaining front line.
Yeah, very, very close fights right now. 32 minutes in. Team Liquid Academy now only 2,500 gold ahead. Here's that fight once again.
Yeah, so C9 pulls the trigger. They want to engage here. And Balls is so tanky with that subjugate down. He's able to tank up as much as he possibly can. You know, barely gets out. Actually, does end up surviving thanks to the shield there from Karma. And Rush goes down. Fabi has chunked them out at that point. It's going to be a clean trade there. But TLA, you know, they have a very powerful late game composition. It's very easy to execute. The one kind of caveat to that is that LeBlanc is tough in these team fights, right? This is not a traditional team fighting mage. This is kind of the assassin who has to play the fights a very particular way. But the 4-man squad besides that is very easy to execute. 3-man front line gives Fabi as much room as he could ever dream of, and you have to be able to carry as a Fed Caitlyn in this position.
Yeah, so far it's been working pretty good. Rush with the quick 1-2 is able to dodge around and clear the tunnel from Dardoch. Looks like Rush has finally warmed up over the course of this game. Unfortunately, 8-5, not so great.
Not too warm, is it?
But, you know, he's got to be the sacrificial spider. He dies so the rest of his team can live.
Applying pressure. That's what I like to say when I'm in solo queue. When I'm 0-15 on Yasuo,
I'm applying pressure.
Don't worry, guys. I'm putting pressure on. I'm going to get this turret eventually.
Oh, boy. Well, we'll see if Rush can continue to apply pressure or if he will take things back a little bit, start playing with the team.
Can't back down, man. Got to keep applying that pressure. Got to keep the gas pedal down.
Well, he is playing against Dardoch, so this is the challenge.
He's making a statement.
So far, the statement hasn't been a great one.
Hasn't, but he's still making one. That's the important part. So we'll see. Cloud9 hanging around in this game, only down 2K now, and that is a little bit worrying for a team that is up 12 kills in TLA. They have the kills, but they have not picked up the objectives to seal the game. We are going to see the Elder Dragon coming up pretty soon. This one's actually going to spawn just before the Elder Dragon.
It's actually an Infernal Drake, yeah.
Yeah.
So they killed it like 2850 or something.
Yeah.
It was so close.
So it is going to be one more regular dragon, but you know, as we do get further and further into the game, it becomes very heavily about those late game objectives, the Baron, the Elder Dragon. Those are the things that TLA is really looking for to kind of close this out, because C9 is playing very smart. They're playing, you know, a team-based squad. They're always fighting, defending their turrets, and they're not allowing TLA to really extend the lead.
Looks like that dragon is about to spawn, but currently Cloud9 trying to make a fight happen. There's on the hunt. The front line from Team Liquid Academy goes in. Fabi's kiting it out in the back. Dardoch waiting with Golden Glue on the side. Team Liquid Academy seem to have the correct fight set up. And in fact, High is going to go down. The Guardian Angel pops, and he drops to Dardoch, and they pick up a second kill on the elimination as Cloud9 cannot break through the tank line.
They just can't get to Fabi. You can't kill Caitlyn. You can't win the fight. It's as simple as that. They're not able to get to him once again. Golden Glue dipping and diving in on the sides and just drawing so much pressure, and they want to go back to Baron once again. And Rush is available with the smite, so they're going to have to be careful. They are also taking a fair bit of damage here. The three-man squad from Cloud9 knows they can't give this up.
Yeah, the Valiant rescue. Let's see if Rush can get in there. He's forced to repel early, jumps onto Solo, but right onto a trap. There's his own Guardian Angel. Golden Glue's low, but he's going to look for a kill. He finds Rush, and he's going to drop him. Fabi is doing some work, but Altec gets some good crits. There's the ace in the hole. Oh, and Altec is able to stay alive just barely.
Wow, what a fight from C9. As they have a three-man squad wandering in, and they're able to stay alive, but Golden Glue is legendary.
Gets the double crit to follow it up. Yes, Golden Glue gets the kill, but Altec says shut down.
That is a big shutdown for Altec. That is a 10 kill, I believe. LeBlanc there. And Altec is going to be frightening now. You can see, you know, in the later stages of that fight, he was manning up. He has his completed IE now, and he really is going to be starting to punch through the front line here. You know, Solo is going to have to stand up and take notice, as this is a very scary AD carry.
Yeah, this is going to be the Infernal Drake going now to Cloud9 Challenger. Here's that fight once again at the Baron stage.
Yeah, so we have the three-man squad walking in. They commit heavily to Rush, who's able to buy a lot of time, actually, with that repel. He does a good job for himself. He has the GA, and Altec is just in the back line. The ricochets are doing work here, pushing everyone out. You can see a couple ricochet crits there, actually catching Fabi as well, and he is going to have to back out of the fight. And on the back end of this, we do have Golden Glue comes in, gets the assassination onto Rush, but the AD carry Altec, crit, boom, boom. Down goes the LeBlanc.
Yeah, the old Keith 1-2. And looks like Team Liquid Academy are trying to sneak the Baron right now, and Cloud9 Challenger have no idea the range from Caitlyn like over the wall. There's no opportunity to deal with it. The Baron is going to be snuck successfully by Team Liquid Academy.
They pick it up. That's huge. And TLA now, they're going to have the minion advantage finally. They're going to look to try to push and get something done. They have the 3K gold lead still. At this stage of the game, though, not really a big deal at all. It's pretty even. Both teams have 2 Drakes aside. I would definitely favor the Infernal Dragon at this stage of the game for Cloud9. Both AD carries pretty massive, as Hex Drinker was picked up by Altec. He wants the Maw as the last item, but this is essentially, you know, full build Altec nearly a full build Fabi there, who is going to be building up probably the Mercurial or the Bloodthirster. And these guys are getting towards their full item builds. They're getting very, very tanky, completing most of their important items.
Yeah, that's a very scary team from Cloud9 Challenger, but Team Liquid Academy are matching with a very successful early game. Able to transition rather well as we're hitting now the 38-minute mark. Snare is going to find Dardoch, but it's not enough damage as once again, Fabi is in the back untouched. Dardoch kites it out. The Baron minions slowly breaking down this turret.
Look at that crit bounce onto Fabi. He lost about half his HP from one Boomerang Blade, plus the W bounce, so he has to be careful and doesn't have a huge amount of lifesteal yet, so it's harder for him to get that back up, when he's in combat with Altec. And Altec has been doing a lot of work here in this game. He's 70 plus CS over Fabi, and he's doing great.
Yeah, there's going to be a repel used. It looks like TLA want to fight now. There's going to be a knock-up. They found balls. He does still have the subjugate, but it's chunked down low before he can use it. He's going to go down, and he's flashing out of the backside of the fight. Fabi kites forward and is doing so much damage. A double kill as those Guardian Angel users do not stand a chance. Make that a triple now as he continues chasing with the rest of his team, and Cloud9 just might be out of this one.
That could be it. Quadra kill for Fabi. They have the Baron buff. They're going to push. These are some long death timers here. I think they might be able to end it. It's looking like the first person up is going to be Rush, and that's not for 30. This game's done.
Yeah, they're now pushing onto the inhibitor turret number 1. They've got a few minions, but with the Baron buff, those minions are going to give quite a bit. Recall from Dardoch. He's going to join back up with Home Guards. And Team Liquid Academy continuing to chase forward. 10 seconds on the respawn for Dardoch, but there's so much damage that they're doing.
Yeah, and they are going to go for it. It's going to be pretty close here as Rush is going to be up, but they should just be able to right-click on the Nexus. Not enough damage here from C9 to actually stop anyone, and that will be it. It should be the 1-to-1 unless they can really hold on here.
Oh, Fabi's finally going to drop at the end, but the Nexus falls, and Team Liquid Academy split the series 1-to-1 with Cloud9 Challenger.
And you would not have guessed it after that game 1. I mean, game 1 was a complete clinic from C9. Yeah. They absolutely dominated TLA, but TLA came back in game 2. They looked great. The bot lane showed up huge. They get that 2v2 outplay, 2 early kills onto Fabi. Golden Glue went nuts. Had 11 or 12 kills this game, and I just feel like C9 never got their composition rolling. You look at the draft, you think, okay, split push. You have TP Rise, you have the TP Trundle, advantageous 1v1s for the most part, or at least ones that you would think would be advantageous as far as map movement. LeBlanc does not have TP, took the Ignite, but they're not able to execute. They never really had them in those side lanes. They got too far behind. They felt they needed to stay as a 5-man squad, avoid those LeBlanc assassinations as best they could, and they held on for a long time, but one great team fight from TLA was all it took.
Yeah, fight after fight. Team Liquid Academy were all over the map that game. They knew they had the composition. They just had to play it out. And after that early advantage they took with those double kills you were talking about, they were able to transition it and play out the mid-game and late game correctly.
They just looked like such a different team. They were actually playing with confidence. It's like, hey, this lane should win. Oh, hey, look, it's winning, right? They're not playing scared. They were going for the plays that they should make. Not everyone worked out, but they had the confidence to keep trying. They knew exactly what they needed to do with their team composition. I think that they made sure that they had a simple team comp. You have a big, beefy front line. You give Fabi the Caitlyn, let him do his work, and they were able to pull it off. So great stuff, very impressive. Everyone's saying C9's the big favorites. TLA is here to play.
Yeah, suddenly Team Liquid Academy tied 1-to-1 with this. And you just said it yourself. Cloud9 are the Cloud9 Challenger are the favorites for this Challenger split. They play particularly well when they get an advantage, but if we have teams like Team Liquid Academy capable of taking these sorts of trades, it really speaks to the sort of level of competition we're going to be seeing this summer.
Yeah, and we saw, in kind of the intro video, some of the players talking about, hey, the difference between Challenger and LCS, not that big. We just haven't got our shot. These guys are looking to prove it, and for now, they did.
Yeah, they certainly did. Now, for more on that series, we've got Team Liquid Academy's AD Carry with us via Skype. Fabi, thank you so much for joining us.
No problem.
Yeah.
Love to be here.
Yeah, congratulations on the win. How does it feel to be taking that series 1-to-1 after that so demoralizing game 1?
So actually, it We felt pretty bad after game 1. Like, morals were pretty down, but we actually came back game 2 somehow, and I feel pretty good about it now.
Yeah, I gotta say, it was a fantastic start for you guys in this game. You're able to get that 2v2 outplay, pick up a couple early kills on the Caitlyn, and did that give you guys a lot of confidence moving forward in the rest of the game?
Yeah, my teammates started yelling really loudly, and that got me going.
Yeah, and of course, you spoke a little bit about the expectations for this team. Now that you're really pushing hard in the Challenger Series, what are your expectations for this current lineup of Team Liquid Academy?
I mean, like always, just getting LCS, or at least play time in LCS, with the main team. But for the most part, just LCS.
Mm-hmm. So how are you feeling, about 6-11? The draft for you guys this time around looked very reminiscent of 6-10. A lot of the champions still on the ban page there were guys who had been nerfed in 6-11. Do you think that the nerfs are going to actually adjust the meta with a lot of the S tiers getting hit? Lucian got hit, Kindred, Nidalee, Maokai, Echo, Azir, all these kind of S tier champions. So do you expect that as that shakes out, we're going to see kind of different picks and bans, different priorities on champions?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna see like mainly AD. Like that's all I know, pretty much. That's all I focus on. So as long as Lucian gets hit, it like makes everything else more viable. Like Ezreal, like champions you wouldn't want to play into Lucian. Now that he's off the board, like those champions just come back. So also like maybe Draven too.
Yeah.
Yeah, those hyper carry AD carries. We know you're fond of a few of them yourself.
Yeah.
I actually want to ask you a little bit about communication on your team. Obviously, with Dardoch coming in, that must change the communication.
You're not wrong. He goes a little wild sometimes. Like it's hard to keep him in check sometimes, but for the most part, he's a good guy.
All righty. Well, we're looking forward to see more out of you, Fabi. Congratulations on the win, and we'll see you next week.
Later.
All right. Thanks for joining us. And now Cloud9 Challenger took the first game of this series, and we're going to find out in this next one if Dream Team will be able to take down Enix in Game 2 of their series. Keep it tuned right here. The action continues in just a few minutes. He's got no flash. Fabi, it might be able to get this first blood as he kites forward. He does secure it with red balls.
A lot of minions
he has
on
to
balls.
Turn around onto balls and balls. The minions.
Oh, the
Dardoch is tanky, but he's not that tanky. He goes low and is going to drop. Solo is able to catch him. That's going to be a triple kill. There's the repel. He's into the pit. He stole it. He's stolen the Baron, but now he's going to be locked down by Fabi, who again is untouched. Solo. He does still have the subjugate, but it's choked down low before he can use it. He's going to go down, and he's flashing out of the backside of the fight. Fabi kites forward and is doing so much damage. A double kill.